Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a Friday of Florida-Georgia weekend, everybody. Frangie and Carlyon. JJ LaSelva back in the fold with us. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
I'm in a little bit,
You're wearing the colors?
wore my Gator shirt. Not just the colors. I wore the logo.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm not afraid. Not afraid of the Bulldogs.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah. I just said, I got up this morning. I said, you know what? I'm going to put the Gator shirt on.
Yeah.
Not be afraid. Bring it to them. What if we shock the world? What if the Gators just shock the world, Carlyon? What if it's 7:07 Eastern on a Saturday night on the First Coast, and it's Florida 34, Georgia 31? Right. What if that happens? What's going to happen? What's going to happen in Nocatee, Florida, is what I want to know.
Well, euphoria would happen.
Yeah.
I think in terms of the ramifications of that hypothetical, Florida now is as silly as it may sound. They would come out of this game if they win thinking, all right, let's go to Texas and see what happens. Let's see about Ole Miss and LSU. Florida would have enough quality games left that if they won out, they'd have an argument to be in the 12. I don't think they can do it, obviously. But look, this is by far, I think, their hardest game. So in your hypothetical, if they're able to win this game, then every other game, I think, is eminently more winnable than what I think it is now. So
rematch with Miami for the big one?
Yeah, so it would be...
You want any of that, JJ, is what I'm asking you.
I want that more than anything, Frank.
And then, in Georgia's side, it would be devastation because they'd be on the outside looking in. I would think they would drop, with a second loss. It'd be hard, for them to play for the SEC title. And, and they'd still have some very challenging games coming up. So for Georgia, it would just be devastating to their chances because I think if they lose to Florida, there's no guarantee they're going to make the playoff.
Yeah, so you got Florida in the Natty.
I've got Florida losing this game by 17 is what I've got. But in your hypothetical, yes, if they were able to win.
What fun's radio without hypotheticals,
well,
right?
Yeah. Well, look at it this. They would also say this. They're not going to win the game 13-10.
Right.
So if Florida is able to pull the upset, it would tell you DJ Lagway is an absolute superstar because I don't think there's any way Florida is winning this game without scoring at least 27 points. And if DJ Lagway is able to engineer that against this defense and, one of the first starts of his career, it would be a tremendous accomplishment, one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen a college football athlete do.
If the Gators shock the world, JJ, does wife Blake celebrate madly, wildly?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wild celebration, right?
The Bravo family text will be a lot happier than it has been the last couple of seasons. Yeah, I'm with Hays. I don't see it happening. But if it did, I couldn't even imagine the ramifications for the playoff, for the top 25, for what people think about Georgia going forward, for what people think about Carson Beck. This guy was supposed to be like the number one pick. That's why he came back. Dude, I've looked at some mock drafts, and he's not even like in the top 2 days of quarterbacks right now. So he needs a bounce back. But if they drop this one, you're thinking they're going to lose to Ole Miss. They might lose to Tennessee. Who knows what could happen if the Gators win.
There's an outside chance here on a Friday afternoon on the First Coast that I might actually like Georgia to cover. But I got to have some fun first, don't I, Carlyon?
Absolutely.
Got to have some fun first. So we'll talk about the game. It is.
Vanderbilt beat Alabama.
Right. So why not?
Whatever else happens in the SEC this year, nothing will top that upset.
Yeah.
So anything's in play.
Yeah. So I will say this. This would rank with the biggest upsets Florida had ever had over Georgia.
Ever in their programs.
Yeah. Well, correct.
It wouldn't be number one?
It would have to. Well, I hadn't thought about it, but over Georgia.
Just like the context, not necessarily the point spread, but just where the programs are
It'd be the biggest win they've ever had over Georgia. Yes, it'd be the biggest win they've ever had over Georgia.
In terms of an upset, without a doubt.
Yeah, the biggest upset. So
it would be the biggest upset they've pulled in my life as a fan. Now, granted, I'm 48, and for 80% of those years, they've been great. Yeah, so you're not going to be able to pull great upsets when you're an elite team.
I'm trying to think of the biggest upsets I can remember Florida pulling. We'll talk about that later on in the program. But it's going to be a lot. I love the weekend. That's that's the most first and foremost. Also love the fact that the Jags get on the road. We'll be on the road with the Jags. I'm looking forward to that. I love my gig covering the Jags, and I can't wait to get to Philadelphia. It's a tough challenge. I know that. But I'm looking forward to that. So today we'll talk some Jags football. We'll talk some Gators, Dogs. Rafael Esparza joins Hays at 4:20 to talk about the best bets of the day. Jeff Dantzler from 960 The Ref in Athens does the Jeff Dantzler Show noon to 1. He's in Athens. He does the coaches shows out there. He does Bulldog baseball. I don't know anybody that knows Georgia football better and has forever than my friend Jeff Dantzler at 4:40 today. Pete Prisco at 5. Our picks at 5:20. Ooh, boy, it's a good show today, Carlyon.
Absolutely.
We're ready to go. But as always, we start with the coach. I'm excited. I'm excited about getting up there with the Jags. I hope the Jags can find a way. They're going to get one of these. They're going to get one of these, and they're going to get going. I believe that. And I hope it's this week. Doug Pederson gets a chance to go back to a place that was very special for him. The head coach joins us now, talking Jags, Eagles football on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The coach speaks. Jaguars coach Doug Pederson joins Frank Frangie right now. Presented by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
All right, now let's say hello to the coach, Doug Pederson, who joins us now as he gets set for his trip to Philadelphia. Doug, how are you, man?
Oh, Frank, doing well. Thanks again for having me on.
Yeah, hey, we'll get into Philly in just a second, but I got to start with this note. For coaches are close to players. I know how close you are to your players, and I know how much you like Christian Kirk, and I hated it for Christian to see him go down again. How hard is that for a coach, for a guy that you know how hard he works and what a good teammate he is? What's your feelings when you see something like that happen?
You know, it's one of the hardest things, you know, as coaches, because you get attached to, you know, players and your team, and you're absolutely right. A guy like Christian, you know, the way he works, the way he presents himself, he handles himself like a professional. You know, he represents the team in the right way, represents himself, and you know, I just know how hard he works and puts the time in, and to see something like this, you know, we all know it's part of the game, and it's going to happen and can happen to anybody. But for me personally, it's hard to watch, you know, and hard to kind of experience, especially the good ones, go down on your team.
Yeah, and I get it. I get it. From a football standpoint now, Parker Washington's the slot guy that replaces him. Tell us a little bit about Parker. Look, he's had a good offseason and a good start to his season, I would think, hasn't he, Doug?
He really has, and we've been impressed with Parker since we drafted him. And you're right, he had a great offseason, really good preseason, you know. And it's hard for a guy like Parker too, because he sits behind Christian Kirk in everything that he does. And so now he really gets an opportunity to go out there and compete. And you know, he filled in nicely a year ago when Christian was down, and all of that. So you know, looking forward to watching him play. Obviously, he's a competitor. He's tough. He does everything right. Trevor has a great rapport with him. So we don't get much of a drop off when Parker's in the game. That's for sure. Let's
talk about your other guys that have been banged up a little bit. I know Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, Travis Etienne with the hamstring are trying to get back. As we sit here on Friday afternoon, Doug, any feelings on those guys, or too early yet?
Well, it's maybe a touch early, but I'll tell you this: both Brian and Gabe did a great job this week in practice. Both guys practiced all week, and they practiced through their injury, which is a credit to them. You know, they could have easily said, "Hey, I'm not going to practice till Friday or Saturday or something like that." But both guys, you know, gutted it out and showed some toughness there, and so I think it's really going to come down to you know, game time, quite honestly. For both of those guys, and so you know, we've got some practice squad you know, activations with you know, possibly Elijah Cooks, with Austin Trammell and you know, Joshua Cephas. So you know, we'll make a decision tomorrow, obviously, but both guys did a great job in practice, and hopefully they can play.
Awesome. That'd be great if they could. Walker Little becomes your left tackle now. Tell us what Walker Little brings. He's a physical player. He's a run blocker. He's very good. Tell me all the things that Walker Little brings now as he becomes the full-time left tackle, Doug.
Yeah, you know, Walker, like you said, he's a really good run blocker at tackle. You know, and he does a nice job in pass protection. You know, he started off last week, you know, maybe a touch shaky, but really settled into the game and did some great things last week. And now he's had another full week of preparation. And he's a veteran guy too, so he knows how to play. He's big, he's physical, and we're really excited to get him going now at left tackle and watch his career kind of take off from there.
All right, so you go back to Philadelphia. I loved your answer this week. I told you this. They asked you if you're going to go see the statue. So you haven't seen the statue yet, but you've pretty much decided you're not going to tailgate, right? Is that kind of where we are?
Yeah, exactly. I won't tailgate and I won't go see the statue.
It's a special trip back for you. I know it is, though. I know you've got friends back there. What's it like going back to a place where you had so much success?
Yeah, it's always good to go back to that place, and you're always going to be remembered for the championship team and the championship year, and it's just an honor to have that on your resume and all of that. But the other thing too is we're going back to try to win a football game against a good team and take our team in there, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and compete and do some good, and so always a special place, will always be a special place, but at the same time we know we got business to do once we get there.
Doug, tell us about that football team that you've seen on tape, the Eagles. Obviously they were 2-2. They've won 3 times now since their break. What do you see when you see them on tape?
I see a team that's starting to play better offensively. I think we know that everything's going to run through Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, that offensive line. They got some weapons on the outside. They may be down one guy, Dallas Goedert potentially. He's a really good tight end who was there. We drafted him a couple years ago there. So it's a good offense, and it's a run first, and play action movement second, and they're doing it at a high level, and so it's going to take all 11 on defense to really at least slow down the run game, make Jalen put it in the air, and then just play sound defense, try to create some takeaways, and then on defense it's a typical Vic Fangio defense. I mean, these guys are got some young players in the secondary, but they're playing well. They're playing good together. It's a big physical defensive line. I would say if there's if there is a weakness, it's hard to find, quite frankly. Just because of the nature of what they're playing, and they disguise a lot of things. They'll bring up timely blitzes and pressures. So you got to be ready, and they make you go. They make you go the long way. So we got to be ready for that and take care of the football, and we got to score in the red zone.
Final thing, Doug, as you get we're about halfway point of the season here now. Can you keep your and I know it's the challenge for all coaches, and I get it, but can you keep your team focused on just today, not watching the standings, not getting caught up on what happened yesterday? And I get it. You're dealing with 53 guys here, but is this team at a good place with regard to that, do you think?
I think so. I think that they're focused on what we're trying to do and accomplish, and but I do think they do. They do keep one eye open around the league and see what's happening, even in our own division, and where that's going. And listen, we've got to. We've got to figure out how to just win a football game. We got to clean up some mistakes. We've been in other than the Buffalo game, really, and the Chicago game got out of hand. We've been every game we've been in, had a chance to win it, maybe in the fourth quarter, and now we've just got to overcome that. We got to be able to learn how to finish a little bit better, and then get the ball to bounce our way here in the second half of the season.
All right, Doug Pederson checking in. Well, here, tell you what, Doug, I'm not going to tailgate either, but I am going to go look at the statue. So I'm going to tell you what it looks like after I walk around and stuff. But hey, man, thanks for spending some time all these Fridays. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Okay, thanks, Frank.
Doug Pederson, the head coach, he said he's not seen the statue yet. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, you should.
You got to go look at the statue, don't you?
Sure.
I mean, look, Philly's got some statues.
They do.
There's a Rocky statue. I've seen that one. Have you seen the Rocky statue?
I have.
Have you run up the steps?
Of course.
You got to run. You have to have run up the steps.
I'm an American.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I have run up the steps.
Yeah.
I got tired at the top because
Sure.
I'm an old American.
Yeah.
But you have to do that. We appreciate Doug. Chances for the Jags? You don't like their chances?
I don't like their chances. I just think that kind of what Doug alluded to. I just think in the trenches, Philadelphia is better on both sides of the ball by a significant margin, and they have an identity, and it's something that and it's a physical identity. And so I just don't think it's tough when you're not a team that likes to get into street fights. It's tough to go and beat the guy that every week wants to be in a street fight. And so I think it's going to be a difficult day. I obviously think they can somewhat limit Saquon Barkley, but I think Jalen Hurts and the weapons they have throwing the ball, I think it's going to be a difficult day for the Jaguars. Not impossible, obviously. It's the NFL, but yeah, I like the Eagles to cover. All
right, we do want to thank you for joining us on a Friday. Always a Big Chief Tire Friday. WeKeepJacksRollin.com is the new website. WeKeepJacksRollin, ROLLIN.com, and they do the best tires and oil changes and brakes and alignments. 5 locations now. The north side is Lem Turner and Dunn Avenue. 2 on the west side. Phillips is near University. Orange Park is on Blanding. They do an outstanding job. They really do. Big Chief Tire, you can truly trust them with all your automotive needs. Head to BigChiefTire.com or head to Big Chief Tire and go to WeKeepJacksRollin.com. All right, we come back. About some betting. How about the bettors out there? You want some games to play? Rafael Esparza joins Hays Carlyon. That's after this, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Saturdays in the South are made for football. Yes, but you can get the game day feeling on Friday night on the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
The big games, the big matchups.
Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Frank Frangie here, and it's time to beat Big Joe. Each week, my buddy Big Joe from Bono's Barbecue will pick 10 college football games. Pick more wins than Big Joe that week. You'll get entered into a drawing to win a $25 Bono's gift card. If you pick more wins than Joe all season long, you'll be entered to win the grand prize. 2 tickets to the SEC Championship game, 2 tickets to the Dr. Pepper tailgate party, and $1,500. Enter to win on the Bono's app. The contest ends on November 23rd. Grand prize winner will be named on the 25th. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Jacksonville, are you ready? The college basketball season is tipping off with an epic in-state showdown. The Florida Gators and South Florida Bulls go head-to-head in the Jacksonville Sports Foundation Invitational. Be there Monday, November 4th at Veterans Memorial Arena and witness this in-state rivalry live. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. It's Florida versus South Florida to start the college basketball season on November 4th in Jacksonville. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. Are you tired of wrestling with your old shower curtain? Then say goodbye to the curtain chaos and hello to a new frameless shower enclosure. Wago Glass is clear, classy, and won't stick to you like a toddler at bedtime. Plus, it makes your bathroom look bigger and brighter. Upgrade your shower experience and step into style. Call me at Baker Glass and get ready to love your new glass shower enclosure. Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
All right, here we go.
Former Jaguars QB David Garrard joins Jaguars Today to talk Jags.
All right, guys.
Mondays on 1010XL.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
Brought to you by WaterboyJax.com.
What is that?
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Prosser here. I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us. Imagine watching your favorite team in your new Lifetime Man Cave, family hangout, or Lifetime's version of a she shed. And now Lifetime is expanding their replacement window division. Make your home energy efficient with their Energy Star rated windows, enclosures, flooring, and windows to fit any and all budgets. Visit the showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let Lifetime be your home team.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my successful back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We are pleased to be joined with MyBookie betting analyst Rafael Esparza. Rafael, great to talk with you. How was your Halloween?
It was uneventful. I worked. I mean, there's something going on Tuesday. There's always something going on in the sports world. I'm just happy that the World Series ended, at least to have one sport that ends, because college basketball starts on Monday.
Give us a college basketball thought. Who do you got a surprise team for us this year?
That's a great question. I kind of like the Big 12. I think they're going to be probably really hard to beat. There's so many deep teams. And don't sleep on, I'll say Indiana. Indiana in football was a big surprise. It would not shock me if we see a much improved Indiana basketball team.
How about that? That'd be fun to see them back to their winning ways. Let's get it to college football, Rafael, and we'll start with the cocktail party here in Jacksonville. Boy, the money's been seemingly pretty crazy on this one. Just kind of give us a rundown on what's happened throughout these last 5 days with this Florida-Georgia line. Where is it settling, and what do you think the right play is?
Yeah, I'm totally blown away. This one opened up at 17.5, and I really thought it was going to get bet up, just like how the average of people get arrested at this football game is around 18.5, 19 people a year. I am totally blown away. This has come down. It's 14.5 now at DraftKings. 14. We had 14.5 as well. We had 15 earlier. I think it's going to settle around 14.5 and 14, which I don't understand why. I think Georgia blows out Florida. No disrespect.
No, I would take Georgia and give the points too. Is there anything you can put your finger on as to why? Because even the injury report wasn't good news for Florida.
I mean, I know Florida has played much better. I think that might be a key. But I'm also hearing from a lot of sharp bettors that they're just not sold with Georgia this year. Their offense does not look like the same offense we've seen in years past, and that defense is just not dominating like in years past. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
In terms of the national rankings, the most important game is Ohio State at Penn State. I'm seeing the Buckeyes as a 3-point road favorite. How do you like that game, and where do you think the money might go in this final 24 hours?
This is going to be interesting just because I think whoever loses, head coach might get fired, Bowl, on this one. I'm leaning towards Penn State. I think it's going to stay at a solid 3. There's one book out in the world that has 3.5, and of course it's that one book that I'm not allowed to bet at. But everything else, I'm looking at Penn State to cover. This screams to me a field goal or less type of game. So I'll take Penn State because it wouldn't shock me if Ohio State loses. They fire their head coach, and the offensive corner, Chip Kelly, just walks next door to a new office.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think Penn State will have their quarterback?
Hey, you know what? Every report that I'm hearing, he's probably going to play unless he has some major setback tomorrow. If this was maybe a 2:30, 3 o'clock game, it might be different because you don't really practice a lot on a practice field like warming up on an early game than you do in an afternoon game. So that you have to look at that as well. But I have a feeling he's going to play.
Interesting. Let's. There is another game in the SEC that it seems like has gathered some momentum in terms of a potential upset, and that's Texas A&M traveling to South Carolina. The Aggies a 2.5-point favorite. Are you on board with taking South Carolina in the points like many seem to be?
Yeah, I'm a little shocked. I mean, it's a big win for Texas A&M. I've been telling people, are you going to get the Texas A&M in the first half of the LSU or the Texas A&M in the second half at LSU? Because there were two totally different teams that played at LSU. Just how we saw last night with the Jets. Totally first half Jets, great second half Jets. If I'm going to get the second half Texas A&M team, which I think I am, I think they roll against South Carolina. Even though South Carolina's a tough and cover a lot of games, I think A&M with that big win last week carries over the momentum.
I'm with you. I don't see this one as the trap that many do. And I get South Carolina has done some good things, but I'm really impressed with A&M and what they're able to do offensively, and they play disciplined. So I'm with you. I would take A&M and give the points there. I'm not as worried about that as many are. My bookie betting analyst, Rafael Esparza, joining us on the Frangie Show. Before we get into the NFL, Rafael, anything else in the world of college football that you think is great value for the sports fans?
I think there's really key games that everyone in the SEC, ACC teams are going to watch. Indiana, Michigan State, and tonight's game at Boise State, even though Boise State should roll. But Boise State, they can get some style points, and remember, they'll be talked about on Tuesday. And what is the committee going to do if they steamroll Michigan State on Saturday? I've been teasing people. Number 1, BYU. Number 2, Indiana is going to be announced next Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. I did want to get your thoughts before we move to the NFL on North Carolina, Florida State. Obviously, it's not a big game, but we still have a lot of local interest in it. North Carolina, who has lost 4 games and had 70 hung on them by James Madison, a 2.5-point road favorite going to the 1-7 Noles. If you had to play it, where would you put your money on this one?
North Carolina shocked me last week when they beat Virginia on the road. So I don't know this is a heckle and jive game. I would probably lean towards North Carolina. Again, a big win on the road last week. Maybe that momentum carries. And I think Florida State's planning for their Christmas vacations and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Getting it to the NFL, pretty good slate of games. We'll start with one that I would assume most people like the over in, but Dallas going to Atlanta, Cowboys getting 3 points. How do you like this game?
Yeah, if you like the over, bet it now. It's 52 out there. Pretty much we have 52. A couple of shops have 51.5. This one will probably close to 53 on Sunday because I see a lot of offense. I wish I could say I trust the Falcons, but last time I saw the Falcons at home, Seattle steamrolled them, and that Seattle defense is pretty bad. So I think we can see I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think we can see a Dallas Cowboys upset here.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. This one threw me off when I saw this line. So Denver is going to Baltimore, and Denver's playing much better than I thought they would. They've got an elite defense. Bo Nix looks like he's kind of figuring some things out. The Ravens are certainly a phenomenal team, and coming off a tough loss, have that incredible rushing attack. But to take the Ravens, you've got to give 8, which seems high to me. I mean, how do you see this?
You know, I think it seems correctly. And just like last night's game, I did a million interviews like, this game is wrong. Houston should be a favorite. We, as odds makers, and I was head odds maker for my bookie many years, we don't make odds for whose jersey's wearing, if quarterback's hurt. We make odds for two-way action. How are we going to get two-way action? I think this number is perfect because if you made it, let's say 7, Baltimore at home, we would get crushed with Denver money because of that defense they're playing. You had to make it right out knowing that you're going to get Denver money because people see that, but you're also going to get that Baltimore money because people think Derrick Henry's the MVP, not Lamar Jackson or the other quarterbacks. This is a perfect number to get two-way action. I think Denver hangs around because just the way Baltimore played last week.
I appreciate you offering that perspective. Give our listeners that aren't as familiar with this the two ways. Explain that two-way action for us.
Yeah, so we as odds makers, we don't care what the jersey name on there. I don't care if it's New England and other. We want the two-ways. That's why the juice is -110. We're looking for the favorite action and underdog action so we can balance off that game so we don't get one-sided action, which we do. We get one-sided action all the time. It happened last night with Houston. They had a lot of Houston action, but Pederson didn't realize that the Jets were at home, and the Sharps took that. So we want two-way action so we can just sit back and who cares who wins? We're going to collect the juice money and still win at the end of the day.
Fantastic. And, in looking at it, that's why you see the lines move, right? Trying to get everything as close to 50-50 as you can.
Fairly seldom will move a game. Like, I can't say very seldom. If a quarterback gets hurt, of course it's going to give it. But everyone says, oh, is this the wide receiver's not playing? Is this happening? What about the offense time? No, normally we're moving numbers because of money coming in. Very seldom we'll move it because of a running back or a wide receiver. Well, first of all, we never move a number on a diva wide receiver, but it could happen.
Really interesting. I'm looking forward to Detroit at Green Bay. It looks like the Packers will have Jordan Love. I think they're listing him as questionable, but he was able to do some limited work this week in practice. Detroit giving 3 points at Lambeau. Do you have any strong feeling on this game?
Educate again. This game has been circled all week, and a circle game means okay, no one's going to bet 5 figures because we still don't know if Jordan Love's playing. Yeah, he's probably going to play, but how healthy? So we're not going to see significant line movement until we take that circle part off, which we probably do on Sunday when we see him practicing and all that. So look for some weird line movement on Sunday when that happens. I think Detroit money is going to come in no matter what happens with Jordan Love. He's going to play just because of how well they're played, but it's a sneaky backdoor. Getting Green Bay +3 at Lambeau Field.
Are there, before we get to the Jaguars game, are there any other NFL games that particularly have drawn your eye this week?
I like Indianapolis, Minnesota. Finally, they flexed a good game. I mean, granted, we had another one that could have been nice one. Chicago, Arizona, I think that was the one that was supposed to be on it. But I'm really shocked to see what Indianapolis, Minnesota. Does Minnesota snap that 2-game losing streak?
Yeah, absolutely. That will be a fun game to watch. And we'll get you out, Raphael, on this one. Jacksonville going to Philadelphia. The Jaguars getting 7.5 points. I would take the Eagles and give the points. But how do you see this one?
I was leaning towards that, but I have a feeling it's a 4:05 game, so that means whoever lost in the morning might be looking at Eagles money line and just putting them on all different types of. We could see this one move to 8 if Eagle money comes in. If it moves anything higher to 7.5 or 8, I may have to take a shot at the Jags because I just don't trust this Eagles team yet.
Raphael Esparza, we can't thank you enough for your time, and we'll certainly look forward to talking with you next Friday. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks so much. We will be back on the Frangie Show. Jeff Danzler is going to join us next to break down the Georgia side of things for tomorrow's cocktail party. You were listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's a lot more to it than a tight spiral and an accurate pass.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Denny Thompson is the Quarterback Whisperer. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on The Drill. Now, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Gator Injury Report.
Some big injury news for this week's Florida-Georgia matchup, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. The Gators announced senior cornerback Jason Marshall Jr. will be missing the rest of the season due to a shoulder injury he suffered in Kentucky's game 2 weekends ago. Star wide receiver Eugene Wilson, as well as defensive back Jakeem Jackson, have also been ruled out for Saturday's game. I'm Max Fink with your Gator Injury Report, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Getting you ready for the game. Pre-Game Friday. Brought to you by MyBookie and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Looking for an affordable and fast oil change? Well, Big Chief Tire has you covered. Frank Frangie here. Right now, take $10 off your next oil change at any of their 5 convenient locations. Their skilled technicians will keep your car running smoothly so you can hit the road with confidence. Whether it's routine maintenance or a more extensive service, Big Chief Tire is here to help. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule your appointment and take advantage of this great deal. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
The last thing you want to be dealing with this holiday season is a septic emergency. Plan ahead and schedule to have your septic tank pumped out now. Our wonderful team at Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is standing by and ready for your call. We'll get your septic tank pumped out right away, giving you one less thing you have to worry about this holiday season. Check out our reviews online and give us a ring today. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision and equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Picking here with a message from Zero Res. You gotta just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most. Families, homes, the holidays, and of course football. They're very grateful for you all, the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today, and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, fill it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Trayvon Walker knows this Sunday's test will be a difficult one for his team as they head north to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Here he is explaining the things the Eagles do well and what that helps them prepare for.
It's a great offense that we're going up against. Obviously, they have a lot of threats as far as quarterback, running back, and then the offensive line is playing great as well. I feel like that coach is doing a great job with filling in the pieces where they may have had some injuries or some things like that. But I feel like they're a great team as far as running the ball, and I feel like that's how they want to be as a team.
The defense will have to prepare for a dynamic rush combo of Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and be cautious of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith lined up on the outside. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time now for the College Football Insider, brought to you by the law firm of Woolsey Moorcoat on The Frangie Show.
All right, let's talk some college football. One of my favorite guys in the business is my buddy Jeff Danzler. Checks in from Athens, hosts a number of coaches' shows, does a lot of play-by-play, and does the Jeff Danzler Show at noon in Athens every day. Jeff, thanks for joining Hays Carlyon and Frank Frangie. How are you, buddy?
Always an honor to be with you, legend. Appreciate you so much, Frank. Thanks for being on with me Tuesday. And I know it's killing you not being there tomorrow. It's killing me not being there. And I think it's going to be a great game tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I agree with just about everything until the great game, and I hope you're right. I think Georgia's good from 10,000 feet, and we'll get to the nitty-gritty in a minute. How did he do this? How? And I watched it with Spurrier and Urban, and we watched it with Bowden. Was this just Kirby coming home and out recruiting everybody else? And because it's the best program in America, they've won 2 of the last 3. I told you on your show, I think they're going to win this one. Why is Georgia, or how has Georgia gotten this good, Jeff?
Well, he's the guy. He's our special coach. It's Bear Bryant. It's Steve Spurrier. We had said, and you know this, Frank, I remember Bear Bryant, and all my friends told me, said back in the late 60s, if Florida ever gets the coach, watch out. And they got Spurrier. And then I think Georgia kind of became that sleeping giant, good but not great.
Right.
And Kirby, the biggest strength is the authenticity. He grew up a Georgia fan in Bainbridge, Georgia. His wife, Mary Beth, his greatest recruit ever, she played basketball for Andy Landers and always loved Georgia. It's where they've wanted to be. A great relationship with Vince Dooley. He was a star for Jim Donnan. He trained under the evil emperor himself, Nick Saban, and this is home. And we have finally gotten our guy, and he is just incredible. What he's done, what he's meant to the Georgia people, what this program is right now, it's really what we've dreamed of. Frank, there were many times when Georgia was mediocre. It would get a little testy on some of our call-in shows with my good friend Kevin Butler and I. Mm-hmm. And I would just always say, dare to be great, Georgia. Dare to be great. And now we've got our guy, and we're great. But as he always says, humility is always just 1 week away.
Without a doubt. Jeff, it's Hays Carlyon. Great to talk with you again. Let's get to Carson Beck. The numbers maybe aren't what people expected, but I have a feeling he's going to have a huge day tomorrow and really start to soar as the season gets into its second half. But how do you see Carson, how he's played, and what are your expectations for him tomorrow?
He's not played well. The passing game has been not good. It was awful against Texas. I don't know how you officially want to score some of them, but he threw 3 interceptions, and Georgia had, depending on how you look at it, 6 to 8 drop passes. He's thrown 8 interceptions and had a fumble in Georgia's last 4 games. He has got to play better. He is a senior. I know he's from Jacksonville. There's going to be extra pressure. I think that's part of the storyline, too, with ATN, who's a Florida transfer there. I mean, that's Georgia's starting backfield. We all know games like this are legacy games. When you think about the great players in the history of this program, you immediately go to what were the numbers in Jacksonville? What was the record in Jacksonville here? This is a huge test for Carson Beck. Last year he had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. They kind of made him. So now as we head towards the second half of the season, can he step up and be that guy at quarterback? And those passing stats I gave you too, Frank and I had a long conversation about this on Tuesday. Georgia, and this makes me just shudder, is 14th in the SEC in rushing. So while I sit here with my angst with wins in 52 of the last 55 games and back-to-back national titles, the offense right now, there's reason that some Georgia fans have some trepidation heading into tomorrow in this home stretch in November.
Georgia's really good defensively. That has never changed. Those two rush ends it's ridiculous to have both of them on the same field at the same time. That's a big part of this, too. How involved does Kirby stay in that defense? He's had an assortment of coordinators, but I get the sense it's a little bit like Nick. It's still Kirby's defense, isn't it, Jeff?
Yes, it is. And he's obviously involved with all aspects, and you know that, Frank. But it's one of those deals, and as he matured as a head coach, it was a situation where his fingerprints are always going to be on it. The blueprint is going to be there. And I just remember, to give you an example, in 2016, his first year, we were playing out at Missouri, and they had come right down the field on us, and we had the ball, and Kirby was on the bench with the secondary drawing stuff up. And it was one of those moments about, okay, he's going to grow out of that.
Right.
And in about 2 or 3 games he did, and by the next season. But that's part of it. You know, Frank, I've always said if you got named president of the Jaguars Sunday, if I got named athletic director at Georgia, the first thing we're going to go do is put on our headphones.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it's what you know. So as he grew, and he grew so quickly out of that, to go from that to year 2 playing for the national title, it was so impressive. But the other thing, too, just knowing everybody and just all my buddies from the 80s, and Frank, you know all these guys so well. I mean, he came in, he got alumni, former players, Letterman involved with all the coaches, and that's part of it, too. And also when you look at the staff, guys like Bobo and Frank, I know you're good friends with Will Muschamp. You know, those guys, all their fathers, legendary high school coaches, pretty much everybody in this state is just one phone call away. And as you know, being in this forever, that makes an enormous difference with everything, and especially when it comes to the lifeblood of recruiting.
Jeff, who are some Georgia defenders that you think are going to excel tomorrow?
I think it starts with Jalen Walker and Michael Williams. And then with that, in Georgia's interior line, Tyrone Ingram-Dawkins, Nazir Stackhouse, Warren Brinson, Christian Miller, can those guys then play well? But I think another key is going to be the inside linebacker play for Georgia. Bulldogs been without Smile Mondon for a couple of games. And remember, because of that rule that is so non-subjective that we all love so much, targeting, when one Georgia player put a shoulder into the upper body, and another Georgia player put his helmet into the chest.
Right.
So Georgia's going to be without 2 of its starting 5 regular defensive backs. I think that gives Florida a golden opportunity to strike and have the lead at the half. And I would expect, especially the way Florida threw the ball against Kentucky, that Georgia's going to have to play really, really well to have a shot to not be behind going into the locker room.
From a standpoint of the roster, the talent on the roster, and again, Georgia turns them over so fast. Again, I watched FSU do that forever in the 90s, Jeff. We watched Alabama do it in the last 10, 12 years. 2 guys will be in the first round, and they'll have 2 more guys play just like them that are starting the next year. Is this Georgia team, in your opinion, because I don't know anybody that knows it better than you do, is this Georgia team the same as it was the last 2 or 3 years? Better, deeper, younger, older? How does it compare?
Big picture, I think the defense is good. I think the depth of this team is the biggest strength. I've told a lot of people, if Georgia can find its way into the playoff, I like the Dogs' chances to make a run. And as you know, and again, Frank, just like comparing it to Spurrier's teams, when you're talking about comparing to historically great teams, and this run that Georgia has been on is one of the best in college football. And that regular season win streak was second only to Bud Wilkinson at Oklahoma, which is just head spinning. But you look at the skill positions for this team, good, not great. And let's take last year out because Beck started at quarterback. And if you want to take that position out for last year, I really like Dylan Bell at receiver. And I think he could have contended for a spot. But in my opinion, if you look at Kirby's teams from 17 through last season, I don't think there's a skill position player who would have started for any of those Georgia teams. Now, we're also talking about guys like Chubb, Michelle, Zamir White, James Cook, Darnell Washington, Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, George Pickens, Mecole Hardman.
Right.
But the firepower is not there. And again, 14th in the league in rushing, 3 interceptions, and 8 drop balls last game. But Georgia still beat Texas by 15.
What do you think the Georgia defensive plan will be to stop Lagway?
I think to make him uncomfortable. One of the big things I think that's going to be a key for Georgia is not over-rushing him. We see that in the NFL and in college a lot. And I think Patrick Mahomes has been the master of that. When that front four comes up and he steps through, and if teams are in zone, you've got your back turned for half the guys so he can take off and run. So I think, and this was what was so hard to do. I go back to Tebow even. You almost have to tell your front to play zone against a guy, which goes against every instinct, guys, as you know, that a defensive lineman has. I mean, it is eat, eat, eat. I mean, you're talking about a saber-toothed tiger with a big steak sitting in front. It's hard to tell those guys to go against every instinct to go sack that quarterback when the most important thing to do is to keep him in front. So if Georgia can have that kind of discipline, and I was quietly confident going into Texas, and on the first series that Texas had, Jalen Walker did a great job of really spying on Quinn Ewers. He didn't overrush. He kept the edge set there. If Georgia can do that, I think the defense has got a chance to have a good day. But you just got to know with DJ, there are going to be some plays where if you do that, if that end cheats down, he's going to get around the corner, or if you overrush him, he's going to go right up the middle and get a really, really big gainer. And plus, Frank, as we talked earlier this week, everybody's playing those twin high safeties now, and right. Georgia's really going to have to in the first half down 2 starters.
Final thing here, Jeff, and we watched this happen here. Florida, is whether we want to admit it or not, was a mostly failed program until Spurrier got there in 90, and I think we all know that.
Yes.
And then it became such an enormous program, and Urban Meyer did a little bit more, not as much as Spurrier had done, and he was kind of teed up for it, but it got to where anything shy of winning the conference, playing for a national title, was such a bummer for Florida fans. Now they're just trying to get back into the game, right? What about Georgia? I don't think there's a team on this regular season schedule that can beat Georgia. That's my opinion. But then you are going to play at Ohio State and Oregon or whoever at some point. If they don't win it, if they don't win the SEC, is it harder now because the bar is set so high? Do you see that there?
No, I get that. And I think the problem that a lot of teams run into, every year you look at the preseason top 10, there are going to be a couple teams that go 7-5.
Right.
Because once you get to that third loss, it's hard to keep the focus. And I have no idea what's going to happen for teams with the great expectations now with the expanded playoff. If you're not one of the 12, that's where even, I'm sorry to tangent here, my friend Gary Stokey, who runs the Peach Bowl, he's had the idea of just saying, hey, and Gary's great, what the matchups would be for, say, the Citrus Bowl, let's just play those games as the season opener the next year.
Right.
Which I don't necessarily think is the worst idea. But, yeah, and you're spot on. I mean, I think about Florida, say, years like 1999 when they lost the SEC championship game. And that was a great team. They wound up with 4 losses, but that was still a great team. So it can be hard to keep that focus. But I do think with what Kirby has done, not making the playoff this year would be a disappointment.
And I think that's where they are. I don't think you have to worry about it, but I hear it. Jeff Dantzler, talking Georgia football, does the noon show and all those Georgia coaches shows and all over the network. Jeff, you're the best, buddy. Thanks for spending some time. Have fun tomorrow. We appreciate it.
All right, love you, my friend. You guys are just the absolute best. And my buddy Robbie Kirk and a lot of Georgia fans have already had their almost 5 o'clock margarita somewhere. Listening to you, my friend.
They're getting it right. Tell Robbie and all of them hello. Jeff, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. Jeff Dantzler, one of the best in the business, checking in from Athens, Georgia. When we come back, we'll get it to the NFL now. Pete Prisco joins us to talk Jags and more. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Find your midseason stride with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 7.5-point road underdog against Philadelphia. The over-under is 45.5 points. The Gators are a 14.5-point underdog against the Dogs. The Noles are getting 2.5 points at home against North Carolina. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it is a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
It's just the Jags and the NFL.
That's all I ever think about.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
Exactly.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studio.
Let's do this, shall we?
10 to noon on
1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
The inflation fighter is back and saving you thousands at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and right now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. You also get no payments till January 2025. It's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you, on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides, and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000. So you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year and call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote and there's no credit pull, unlike the other guys. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. And Greg, when you start to shift from warmer weather into some cooler weather, you can get on the road. What has Honda got to offer?
Honda's got a bunch of great bikes. They've got the new e-clutch technology, which means you can ride without using your clutch.
And I love the fact you can go automatic on a bike, which was unheard of for a while.
It was for a long time, and Honda has mastered it.
You can log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, see all they have to offer, or drop by the showroom. They're on Atlantic near Regency. That's Cycles of Jacksonville.
Every weekend is a stone cold sports weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. When the news broke this offseason that running back Trevor Etienne was switching up on the team and transferring to rival Georgia Bulldogs, Florida fans were shook. The reality of the matter is that the modern age of college football we are living in. Billy Napier was asked about if there will be any sour vibes coaching against his old running back and what kind of effect Etienne's decision had on the team.
Yeah, well, it's become the norm of college football. It wasn't the first and it won't be the last. It's gotten to a point where you move on to the next one. And I think we've done what we needed to do to be productive at running back. Obviously, Jaden, Jacoby, Montrell's been very productive for us this year. You know, that position for us is at the centerpiece of our offense, and I couldn't be more proud of the guys that we have there.
It's 79 degrees at 5:05. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
All right, the Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles always brings us a Pete's Report. Pete is from CBSSports.com, as you know. Showtime is located at Phillips and Shad. They do a great job. I don't care who it is you root for. They've got your team, and you'll be glad when you walk in there. You can't imagine how big it is, how much good stuff there is. So thanks to our friends at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Pete Prisco joins us. Pete, how we doing, buddy?
What's up, guys? How are you?
We are good. You probably went out and trick-or-treated last night, right? Did you give out some candy? Did you pick up candy? What'd you do?
Yeah, I dressed up and scared the daylights out of every kid in the neighborhood.
Hey.
You know, I missed mischief night, though.
Yeah, you did. So there's that. Pete, the Jags are 2-8, 2-6. They're 2-6, and they have a difficult couple games coming up. Big picture in your mind, what went wrong? I think most of us thought they'd be better than that. From your vantage point, why are they 2-6?
Well, I think we overestimated the roster, for one. I think they had far more problems than even I thought they would. And I know you guys didn't think they had the problems that they have. The defense is awful. I think the coordinator's a little in over his head. I think the rotation of players is out of control. I think the fact that they admitted that the defensive tackle came in and said, I want to be a defensive end, and they let him, big problem. So, you flip it to the other side of the ball, I think the injuries have impacted them, and the offensive line hasn't been great, although it's been better. And so I think you add it all up, and there's your major problems right there.
Did you like the Cam Robinson trade?
Yeah, because, look, and I know you guys watched it and saw it, and I wasn't there, but I've heard from people that he wasn't exactly engaged on the sidelines, which is never a good thing. And so when that starts happening, you start shipping, and it makes sense. And I think it made sense for the Vikings. I think it made sense for the Jaguars. He wasn't happy there. When a guy gets benched, and that's essentially what it was, and he responds that way, and your team is going into tank, then I think you have to do something about it. And I think it was the right move.
It's interesting, Pete. The Jags are ranked 14th in offense. That's with guys in and out of the lineup on the offensive front. That's with Travis Etienne, who's your starting running back down for a while now. That's with Evan Ingram not playing the first 3 or 4 games. I think the offense has been okay. I'm like you. The defense is ranked 29th. I think that's probably my biggest surprise. I thought the defense would be really good. And you hit some things. Are they playing people out of position? Is Ryan Nielsen not done a good job? We could talk forever about it. But I wonder what really went wrong there. Are the players just maybe not as good as it's still about players, right? I just wonder if it's a players thing on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, the interior of the defensive line gives you nothing.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah.
No push, not good against the run, and that it negates what you have as pass rushers on the outside. And so, when a quarterback can step up and get away, everybody look at the tape. Josh Hines Allen's been good this year. He just isn't getting guys on the ground. It would be nice if he had somebody that could push the pocket in the middle once in a while. And I think you go to the linebackers, and they've been bad at times, and pass coverage has been a problem for a lot of them. And then you go to the back end. The 2 opening safeties probably going to wind up on the bench by the time this is all said. One has already been benched. Did they make a decision on the other one yet this week? Because it looks like he's trending in a direction to be benched as well. And so your middle of the defense has been bad all year. And I think that's been a real overriding problem for the defense.
If they are able to pull the upset Sunday and get to 3-6, is there life, or do you think it would just be a fluke and they're still headed towards a season in which they don't really contend at all for a playoff spot?
Well, I think it would be a fluke. I don't see it happening. With all the injuries, I can't imagine it's going to happen. They have so many injuries, and you talk about the interior of the offensive line now, which wasn't great to begin with. Now you're going to have maybe 2 guards out. That's a big problem for them. So, no, I don't think they'll win the game. If they did somehow win the game, does it give them life? In the AFC, at the bottom of the AFC, all those teams have life because, nobody's kind of moving past anybody. It's funny to look at it. The Texans haven't been great this year at all, and we saw that last night. And C.J. Stroud probably playing worse than Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence hasn't played. I'm not saying he's played bad, but for all the talk about Trevor Lawrence and how there's concern about him, you don't hear that about C.J. Stroud. And this would be a time if you were at a decent team, you could go win that division. But the problem is they're not very good right now either.
If the Jags win the game, they're 3 back in the division with 8 games to play. Now, you got to win some of these games, and I get that. The end of the schedule softens up, Pete, as we all know. I think that's and I've been saying this every week, and they don't win the game, but I think if they win this game after the Texans, I agree with you, did not look good. The Colts will be better with Flacco, but they're just okay. The Titans are having a tough year. I get the sense if I lost, and maybe I'm just so glasses half full and I'm calling the games and I'm getting blinded, but I get the sense if they win this game against the team that's this good, they'll have been 3-2 in their last 5. The Texans are leaking a little bit of oil. They've got some hurt guys. Diggs is out. Why do I sense it? Maybe they're in they're not in the wild card thing, but I think they might be in the division thing.
Well, and Texans play the Lions next week.
Correct.
So, yes, I get what you're saying, Frank. But is anything about this team giving any indication they can go to Philly and win?
No, I hear you. I hear
banged up. I mean, and I agree with you. If they could and they did, then maybe. But I think this is one of those games that's going to get ugly and it's going to get out of control. And when it does, guys, not unlike what happened to the Titans last week in Detroit. You know, they in the second half they hung around a little bit and then got away from them. In the second half, they packed the bags and went home. And that's what I'd be looking for, is to see guys who pack the bags and start heading for home if it does get out of control.
I'm glad you brought up the Texans, Pete, because I was stunned watching that game last night. So the Jets, first off, they drop the ball. Corley is going to score a touchdown, drops the ball short of the goal line, so that's a fumble. They lose that. The Jets, commit a penalty on a punt on like 4th and 20 that gives the Texans a first down. They then do it on a field goal later in the game. The Jets beat the Texans despite dropping a surefire touchdown at the goal line, a penalty on a punt that basically is a turnover, and a penalty on a field goal that's basically a turnover. I think Houston, they may not win 9 games. I mean, to me, Houston looks very vulnerable. Now, I don't think it's the Jaguars that can catch them. Maybe it's the Colts with Flacco.
They are vulnerable, and all season long they've been vulnerable. They've been in every game. They could have lost every single one of them. And here's the thing: we talk about teams that have offensive line problems. That one's been a problem all year long. You know, the left guard who went out, he's been awful. The center has been bad. Tunsil's getting a ton of penalties. The quarterback's getting sped up. He's getting hit, and now he doesn't have any weapon. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think you can run on them a little bit at times. So they have issues, and it's going to be a challenge for them to turn it around and get back to where they were. And again, sophomore slump for C.J. Stroud, I mean, it's not beyond the realm. And not all of it is his doing, by the way, but some of it is. He missed a touchdown pass in the middle of the field that could have, last night, and that's a throw he normally would make. So there are concerns with the Texans. The problem is nobody in that division is very good.
That was a big surprise, by the way, the little slant that he missed on the goal line.
Yeah, to Mechie.
I thought that was the biggest surprise of the game for me because he doesn't miss that throw. I thought the same thing. It was to John Mechie. All right, Pete, final question. The Chiefs and the Lions are off the board because they've got the 2 best records. Give me the next 2 or 3 most likely teams to win the Super Bowl as we sit here right now around midseason if you can't have those 2.
Buffalo. I don't think there's any question about that. I think that team, you're starting to see what's happening. They get Cooper, and now Coleman's starting to be a better factor and starting to make some plays down the field. And now you got weapons.
Okay.
And when you give that guy weapons, they're going to be a problem. Good offensive line, can run the ball. And flip it to the defense, they have some real talented players on that side of the ball they're starting to play, and then you're going to get Von Miller back to help the pass rush. So I think Buffalo's the definite team in the AFC. In the NFC, don't we sit here and just keep waiting for the 49ers to get right? But I'm not going to say that because I have so many injuries for my liking. I'm going to go – I'll give you a team. I think it's the Packers. And you guys saw them last week.
Right.
That wasn't the best version of the Packers because you got the quarterback banged up and you have Malik Willis in the game. When they're playing at their best and he's healthy and playing at his best, that team can beat anybody.
And they've won 4 in a row, and they're playing at a good level. Very good call. Pete Prisco checking in, as always, from CBSSports.com, brought to you by Showtime. Thanks, Pete. We appreciate it, buddy.
All right, guys. Take care.
Pete Prisco talking NFL. Nobody does it better. We'll take a break. Picks are up. I got to tell you, when the college games ended and you were 0-3, I didn't want to tell you this, but, we had a parade in the front yard.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
We had a parade.
And we had a lot of firings.
We had a parade. And then, of course, you did great on the Sunday, and then I hated you again. And I didn't really quit hating you all that much Saturday, so there you go. But I did a little bit of a swan dive last week. JJ had a great week. We'll tell you what happened last week. We'll do our picks. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
He's a master at recon. Hays Carlyon takes you behind enemy lines on 1010XL.
What's your position?
That's top secret. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Frank Frangie here, and I can't say enough good things about the team at Sunshine Turf and the work they've done for us. Let Sunshine Turf transform your backyard into a low-maintenance oasis that will be green all year long with artificial turf. Caleb and his team can help you create the lush outdoor space of your dreams, whether you want a durable place for your kids to play or you're ready to say goodbye to muddy paw prints. Visit sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 for a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hello. I'm Jerry Holland, Duval County Supervisor of Elections. Do you like lines? And I'm not talking about offensive and defensive lines. I'm talking about the long lines you will be standing in if you wait to vote on Election Day. If you're a Duval County voter, vote early at any of our 24 early voting sites. For more information, go to northfloridavotes.com to learn more. We'll see you at the polls.
Pre-Game Friday is brought to you by MyBookie
and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
Joint replacement surgery is always a tough decision, but relief from chronic pain may be just around the corner. Dr. George Barry here, and there's a lot to consider to make sure you get the proper diagnosis and best path back to the range of motion and mobility you had. Age, lifestyle, and overall health all play a part. Let the team at Barry Orthopedics give you a full analysis to help you make the best decision. Log on to BarryOrthopedics.com or call the office to make an appointment. With offices across Jacksonville and ready to help you feel good again, we'll get you back on the road to recovery at Barry Orthopedics.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating this week's high school scholar athlete, Trevor Bryan, senior football player at Fletcher High. Trevor is on the A list and is also a track and field athlete. Congratulations, Trevor.
Hey, Icken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
You've been injured in a car accident, and the insurance company denies your medical bills, denies to pay your lost wages, and won't repair your car. Then it's time to fight back. Time to call Farah and Farah at 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I-9 Sports is getting geared up for more fun for kids all over the First Coast with winter and spring registration now open. Kids ages 3 to 17 can get in the gym or on the field with I-9 Sports, covering Clay, Duval, and St. John's, and I-9 introducing all-girls volleyball and flag at Duval Charter and all-girls flag at Nocatee, plus flag, soccer, t-ball, and basketball for boys and girls too. So don't miss out. Registration open now for winter and spring at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Break in the savings this fall with Universal Roof and Contracting. Enjoy 15% off all roof repairs and replacements, plus a free wind mitigation inspection. With financing options as low as $115 a month, protecting your home has never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP. Offer expires November 30th. Protect your home and your wallet.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
All right, it is time for our picks contest. It is always brought to you by our friends at Sunshine Turf. They do a fantastic job at Sunshine Turf. If you're putting turf in your lawn, call my man Caleb. He does an outstanding job. SunshineTurf.info is the number. 904-892-0580 is that's the number. That's the website, SunshineTurf.info. Look, everyone's doing it now, man. They're putting putting green in their backyard. Playground areas for their kids. You don't have to mow it. It looks fantastic. We did it all over our ballpark. Sunshine Turf. That's the name to know, Sunshine Turf, and you'll be awfully glad you did. Here's how it went last week. J.J. LaSelva out of South Central Ocala was 5-2 last week.
Nice.
I don't know why I only did 7 games in public school math. I normally do 8. And he had an extra pick. He had Auburn. Nice job. He's the only one that had Auburn over Kentucky. That's a game picker-upper. And he had the Jaguars. That's a money ball. So 7 points. He was the winner of the week. Hays Carlyon, he hails from the Bowl School. He was 4-3 after going 0-3 in college. I was so happy when you were 0-3. And then he bounced back. And he had 2 extra points. He had a game picker-upper with the Eagles. We both had the Bengals. And he got
killed.
And he had the money ball, yeah. So he had 6 total points. The dog of the week was me, 3-4. No extra points. Missed the money ball. No game picker-uppers. 3 total points. So now's here where we stand. Hays is starting to pull away like he tends to do. 32-23 overall. 42 total points. JJ 29-26 has moved into second with 35 total points. I'm also 29-26, but 32 total points. Game picker-uppers. Hays has 6 game picker-uppers now. How about that?
So I'm 3 back in just the picks, but the points I'm...
Yeah, you're 7 back, and I'm 10 back, and I'm 3 back of you. So Hays is 6 game picker-uppers.
I had you with 33 points.
You had me?
Yeah.
Oh, did
not
you?
32.
Did I count wrong?
You may have cheated yourself.
But you know what? Without even counting, I'll just say okay.
We're always our hardest critic.
But I don't have a game picker. I got 29 points right. No, I don't have. Do I have a game picker upper?
I thought I don't have it from last week, but I had you with 33 points.
I think it's 32 because I got 29 picks right. And I've got 3 money balls and no game picker-uppers. Anyway, game picker-upper 630. I'll get one before the year's out. You got 6 of those.
Very lucky.
So to hell with you.
I've got a good team.
Okay.
I've got a good team.
It pays to go against us.
The money ball, yeah, it really does. 4-2 for Hays. JJ and I are both 3-3. Having said all that, let's get to this week's picks. We got some fun ones coming up this weekend. Let's start with the college games. I'll go first because the guy in the tank goes first. Ohio State at Penn State. Listen, I'm down 10. I'll take the underdog, Penn State at home. JJ.
I like Ohio State big in this one. I can't believe the point spread's so close.
Hays.
I'm going to take Ohio State as well.
Okay, good. Going all I can. There you go. Texas A&M at night at South Carolina, JJ.
This is tricky. South Carolina's defense is really good. I'm still going to go with the hot hand in Texas A&M right now.
Hays Carlyon.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas A&M as well. A lot of people like this as an upset, but A&M's just playing so well. So give me the Aggies.
I'm down 10. South Carolina for me. North Carolina at Florida State at the Doak. Hays Carlyon from the Bowl School.
I know Mac Brown has never beaten FSU, but Mac, if you can't beat this FSU, then I don't know what to tell you. I know that they lost to James Madison. North Carolina's not really any good, but they can at least score. So I will take the Tar Heels to go into tally and get the win.
Mac Brown's first win for me too. JJ?
I'm going with the Noles here. I just think this is their time. I love that stat about Mac Brown. I had not heard that, but North Carolina, they suck. I mean, I'm just going with Florida State.
I love it. You know what? That makes the picks good. We're mixing it up a little bit. And finally, Florida and Georgia. JJ, kick us off here. Big, close game. Could go either way. Come down to the wire. It's a 14-point line. Who do you like, JJ?
I like Georgia. I think that the pass rush is going to be, like Jeff Dantzler said, I think the defensive line is going to do things to maybe confuse the freshman quarterback. I'm going to go with the Dogs.
We only do straight up, so it doesn't matter, but I even think they cover. I'll take Georgia. And Hays?
I like Georgia as well, and I do think Carson Beck is going to play the best game that he's played. So I think Florida's defense is going to struggle to slow down Georgia.
Let's get to the National Football League, please. Here's a good one. JJ, kick us off here. Lions at the Green Bay Packers.
I'm going to go with, by the way, this is the first game the Lions have played outdoors all season long. We're in like week 10 or something.
How about that?
It's crazy. But I am going to go with the Lions just because I didn't love what I saw with the quarterback play last week from the Packers.
Hays Carlyon.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I wish I knew more about Jordan Love because I agree with Pete. I think Green Bay has the makings of a special team, but and the Lions to me are due to take a step back. But not knowing, I'm just worried it'll end up being Malik Willis. So give me Detroit.
I'm 10 back. You got to do what you got to do, right? You can't be afraid. I don't know if you've ever heard this or not before, but I'm going to come up with something.
Why didn't you pick Florida then, coward?
I'm going to come up with something about this game. You guys have never heard this before. You ready for this one? Scared money don't make money. I don't know if y'all knew that one or not. Colts are at the Vikings, Hays.
I am going to take Indianapolis here in an upset. I don't like the look of the Vikings lately, and I do think the Colts moving to Joe Flacco is going to do wonders for them.
I would have taken the Colts had you taken the Vikings, but I'm trying to catch you, so I'm going to go. You took the Colts. I'm going to take the Vikings.
Where is this?
It's in Minnesota.
I'll go with the home team. I'll go with the Vikings.
So there's another game picker-upper opportunity for Hays Carlyon. Steelers play at the Commanders. I'll go first. I just don't think the Steelers are that good. The game's in Washington. I'll take the Commanders. JJ.
I think this is tough. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I like what Russ has been doing down there, and I love the Steelers defense up there.
Yeah,
and I love the Steelers defense.
And he's better than Justin Fields. They got the right guy playing. Hays Carlyon.
I think Jaden Daniels has been so impressive. I will take Jaden Daniels, the rookie, to outperform what is a great Steelers defense.
He's just got to come back down there. That's my thinking is he can't win every game from here on out, right? But he looks awesome.
And finally, the Moneyball is at the City of Brotherly Love. There's a Rocky statue. There's a Doug Pederson statue. There's a ball game on a Sunday afternoon. JJ LaSelva, what say you?
I think there's even a Nick Foles statue.
I think there is, actually.
That's
correct.
I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I just think the injuries and everything too much for the Jags to overcome this weekend.
Straight from the Moss Point Grill, the leader in the clubhouse. Who do you like?
Yeah, I like the Eagles. I think it's a terrible matchup for the Jaguars anyway before you even get to the attrition. So, yeah, I like Philly comfortably.
Man, I'm hoping we're all wrong, but it's hard not to pick Philly in this game. I'll take the Eagles as well. So here are our picks. On the college realm, as it were, JJ and Hays both like Ohio State. I'm taking the Nittanies at home. At Texas A&M, South Carolina, JJ and Hays both like Texas A&M. I'll take South Carolina at home. Can't imagine why I'm in last place. FSU and North Carolina. JJ LaSelva likes FSU at home.
Let's go, Knowles.
Can't imagine why he's near last place. Hays and I both like North Carolina. We all like Georgia to beat Florida. Packers, Lions. I will take the Packers at home. And that one, by the way, not just me desperate. I think the Packers are going to win that game.
If they have Jordan Love, I would pick. I think it's a great pick.
I think they're going to win the game. You guys both have the Lions.
They've got a really good team.
Hays likes the Colts on the road. JJ and I both like the Vikings at home. JJ likes the Steelers on the road. Hays and I both like the Commanders at home. And we all think the Eagles are going to beat the local team. And we all three hope we are wrong. Those are our picks one more time. Hays with the commanding lead, 42 points. JJ, 35 points. I've got 32 points. Those are our picks. We'll take a break and wrap the program after this.
It's The Ride Home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The NASCAR Cup Series will be racing the Xfinity 500 on Sunday in Martinsville. It'll be 500 laps around the half-mile short track, and this is the final event for 6 drivers to try to earn the final 2 spots in the season finale at Phoenix for the championship. The other 2 spots are occupied by Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick, who have wins in round number 3. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson are the betting favorites to win at Martinsville. They're both at plus 450. Ryan Blaney at plus 600. William Byron, who won at Martinsville back in April, he's plus 750 to complete the track sweep this year. Chase Elliott is at plus 800. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
The holidays are just around the corner, and so is your entire family.
Babe, the toilet's
growling at me again?
Uh-oh, the kitchen sink just turned into Old Faithful. There's no hot water!
Don't let plumbing chaos steal your holiday cheer. Call Duck Rooter today to fix those issues before Aunt Linda blames you for ruining Christmas dinner. Duck Rooter, your local plumbing pros. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
It's time for Bravo Days, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified sales event at Nimnik Buick GMC. For a limited time, enjoy rates as low as 1.9% APR or $500 in down payment assistance on Car Bravo certified vehicles at Nimnik. So now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence at Nimnik Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealer. Now, buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. With Car Bravo, Nimnik Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. All makes, all models. And trading in your old vehicle? Well, don't forget who gives you the top dollar for your trade. Nobody but Nimnik. So shop online at NimnikBuickGMC.com or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. Remember, it's Bravo Days, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified sales event is at Nimnik.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Have you hit any bets yet this week? Our listeners have been killing it, betting with MyBookie, turning spreads, over-unders, and prop bets into straight cash. It's Florida-Georgia week. On Saturday, the action pops off with the Florida Gators a 16-point underdog to the Georgia Bulldogs. The over-under game total is 52 points. This will be one of the most bet games of the weekend, so keep an eye on the lines. You know it doesn't stop there. On Sunday, you have projected shootouts with the Cowboys versus the Falcons, 52-point over-under total there. The Dolphins-Bills game total of 49, and Lions-Packers, the game is 48-point total. Jacksonville goes to Philly as a 7.5-point underdog to the Eagles, and then you cap it off with Sunday Night Football. The Joe Flacco-led Colts travel to the Vikings. MyBookie still has that double deposit bonus. It doubles your money on your very first deposit. Sign up now with promo code 1010XL and make yourself a winner with MyBookie.
It's the chump of the swamp and the bark of the dogs. Florida-Georgia Week is enhanced by Ackerman Urology and Cancer Center and Kingfish Pest Control.
Two awesome rival football fan bases
on 1010XL.
Total Wine and More is having a Taste of Town November 8th and 9th from noon to 6 both days. Enjoy great liquor brands, craft beer, and more. Brackish Vodka is excited to announce 6 additional flavors, and all can be sampled and purchased at the Total Wine and More Taste of Town November 8th and 9th. Come to Total Wine at the Town Center and sample great local brands. Brackish Vodka is a proud partner of the Jaguars and proud to be supporting the Taste of Town.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats every day, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both with everyday deals at Sonny's? Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all you can eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
With Christian Kirk being placed on IR and Brian Thomas Jr. being banged up, the Jags will have to look to their receivers who have not had as much playing time to contribute to the offense. Parker Washington has shown a lot of promise with the end of last year stepping up as well as now. Washington will be asked to fill the void and be a reliable target for Trevor Lawrence, lining up outside and in the slot. Here's Press Taylor on Washington stepping up.
Well, I think it's always hard just being a backup. These guys all come out of college being the guy, and now you're the backup. Whether you're the fourth, fifth, you're the backup at all spots. So if Christian goes down, you go in the slot. If, last year somebody else went down, he went outside. There's kind of that flexibility where maybe that's a little bit, maybe that's a little tougher just mentally having to prepare for that, and then it slows you down a little bit in the way you play.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, the personal injury attorneys of Farah & Farah present this injury update. Farah & Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, unfortunately, we got a long injury report for the Jags taking on the Eagles this Sunday. First off, running back Tank Bigsby is questionable with an ankle. Ezra Cleveland will be out with an ankle. Gabe Davis, questionable with a shoulder. ETN, questionable with a hamstring. Christian Kirk, as we know, out for the rest of the season. Brandon Scherf, questionable with a knee. Mason Smith, out again with an ankle. And Brian Thomas Jr., questionable with a chest. And as for the Eagles, two big players that are out. Dallas Goedert, out with a hamstring. And Darius Slay, out with a groin.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, and where have we been today? All over the place talking football. Doug Pederson, always on a Friday, kind enough to join us and talk about taking his team to Philadelphia, where he won a championship, and more importantly, to try and get back on the winning track, win for the third time in 5 games. Let's hope, and get a little bit of a run going. Then you're 3 games back in the division with 8 to play. So see what winds up happening if you can find a way to win. We talked to Doug Pederson, Jaguar football. Rafael Esparza was on with Hays. He is from MyBookie. They talked about the best plays. Jeff Danzler from 960 The Ref in Athens, terrific talk show host, member of the Georgia Radio Network, talked Bulldogs with us. Pete Prisco has always checked in to talk NFL. We've been busy today, and then we did our picks a moment ago, and that is the cool down, just where we've been over the course of the program today. Florida, Georgia start. Let's start with that. It's a magnificent night in Jacksonville. I can tell you, up until 2014, when we started, I started doing Jags games, every Friday night before Florida, Georgia, we had the Florida, Georgia party at our house. We had about 70, 80 people there, and just love the dogs and love the Gators, and more Gators than dogs, but I had both. And we had some of the most fun parties ever. You probably never came because I didn't know you very well then.
No, we did. I think the one year we were at the party and the Jaguars traded for Marcel Darius. Remember that?
Was 7. We might have had a party in 7. It was an off week in 17, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so we did have a party. You're right. Okay, there you go. Okay, so how about that?
So yeah, I was saying it was a great party. We had a lot of fun.
We travel all the time, and so I said I can't go because I'm traveling. All my buddies go, Suzanne's not traveling.
Right.
What's the problem? Why isn't there a party? But we had that party for many, many years. When I did Touchdown Radio, I would take Florida Georgia week off because I didn't do work every week unless we did Florida Georgia. The one Florida Georgia game I think I did 2. I did Touchdown Radio for 7 years. I think I did. I know one Florida Georgia game I did was the Georgia Storm in the Field, the 07 game. I had that game because we didn't know what to say. I remember we were like, "What in the world?" So I had the 7 game. I might have had 7 and 8. I know I had 7, but why do I think I had the timeout game? Might have had that, but I know
that was a great one to have.
I know I had the 7 game. But it's a great night in Jacksonville. Be safe. That's why we had Brett Hastings in here to talk about the importance of doing it right. Please use Uber tonight. Please use taxi cabs tonight. Please have a designated driver that is truly a designated driver tonight. It is important, but it really is a fun night. It's New Year's Eve in Jacksonville. Our city deserves this. The wonderful fans of those two schools deserve it. It's a celebration, and I think we're going to have this team game for a long, long time. It'll be gone for 2 years just while we renovate a stadium, just like it was in 94, 95. And then I think the run begins in 2028. As for the football game.
Yeah, they did the 4-year. They announced it today, so it's 28 through 31.
That's right. So they did announce it today. So and it was coming. So and that'll just get extended many more times. I would have liked to see it go longer. I'm guessing, I didn't see it, but I'm assuming there's some years after that, some option years. Did they announce that?
I haven't looked at it. I just saw 28 through 31. But again, to your point, it's never going
It's never leaving. It's never leaving. So we're very excited about what we've seen announced today, which is very good news. Florida, Georgia will be here. When you really knew that is when the home and home was announced for 26 and 27. I said that. I led the program with it that day. The only thing that could cost us this game would be if the home and home philosophy won. And once you didn't go home and home in 26 and 27, you weren't going home and home, and we weren't going to lose the ball game, and that was very exciting for all of us. As for the game, I don't think Florida can beat them. I think Georgia's really good. I think Florida has found a little something. I will tell you this. God bless them. I went back and looked, and unless I counted wrong, I think of the schedule Florida had before the season, 12 games, they will wind up playing. Now, stay with me on this. 8 teams that appeared in the top 10. Did you hear that number? 8. Think about that for a second. Now, that's a misnomer because FSU started 10th and they're obviously not very good, so they're not really a top 10 team. I'm not sure Ole Miss is a top 10 team. They started 6th, but you get the point.
But A&M wasn't supposed to be, and they are.
And they are, right. So, but they will play they'll play 8 teams. 8! That at some point will appear in the top 10, and 6 or 7 of those are very good teams. So it's a shame the schedule is what it is, but Georgia's very good. Georgia's earned that. Kirby Smart is the modern-day Saban. He's the modern-day Spurrier. They're the king of the hill. They've earned their place on the king of the hill as the king of the hill. I think if you're Florida, obviously somehow play physically with them, make Georgia go the length of the field, somehow stay in it to the middle of the third quarter and create a little bit of doubt. That's what the underdog can do. But I think it's hard. I've got this one probably 38-20, 38-21. I think Georgia covers.
Yeah, I think it'll be like 34-17, Georgia covering.
Same game.
I do think for Florida, what are some things you've got to do early in this game? I would have Lagway keep it early, like maybe even on the first play. I would show Georgia immediately that DJ Lagway will run. I think it would really help.
I love that.
With Montrell and Baugh. You can't just run at Georgia. You're going to have to at least create some kind of distraction, something to fool them, something to give a false step or two before their instincts kick in and they break on the ball. So I think if you just hand it to Baugh and Montrell Johnson, I think Georgia's going to eat that alive. But if you can incorporate Lagway and show it early, don't wait until the middle of the second quarter for Lagway to keep one. Have him keep it. Even if it loses 2 yards, I don't care. Show them that he is willing to take the ball, fake it, and run.
That's a great point because that's one thing we haven't seen yet. And I know there's nobody behind him. I get it. But you might lose anyway. And Georgia hits hard now. That's a tough physical team that is going to light you up. But despite all that, I agree with you. The one thing he brings that we have not seen is danger in the running game. We've seen a couple here and there, but I agree with that.
Yeah, and then obviously I'm fascinated to see how Kirby Smart elects to play his safeties. It was great intel from Jeff telling us obviously a couple of the defensive backs are sitting out the first half because of targeting infractions. So, how does Kirby Smart elect to play it? I am thinking he's going to drop 2 safeties consistently just because why would you give Florida any kind of chance to hit one of those? And then their side of the stadium is electric, and it's an incredible boost of confidence that you're giving Lagway in the offense. So I would think you're dropping 2 safeties deep on every play. And if DJ Lagway completes 7 of 9 passes on the drive to score, you tip your cap to him. But that'll be really interesting to see. And, this Gator defense, I mean, Jack Pyburn is having an unbelievable year. Is he able to kind of become the David Pollock of this decade where it's like, where did this come from? David Pollock, I don't remember him being like a 5-star prospect, but then all of a sudden he just developed and became a dominant SEC defender.
And Pyburn's like him. Now, who knows if he's anywhere as good. But he's kind of built the same
unbelievable motor.
Yeah. So I think Georgia's going to beat Florida. I will say this. We're not in the age of nobody likes to talk about moral victories, whether you like that or not, because Georgia is so good. Florida could gain a moral victory as it did against Tennessee by playing them close. Now, having said that, this would be the last one, okay? You can't go to Texas and then lose 34-33 and say, here's another moral victory. You got to start winning them. But Georgia's better than Texas. We saw that. Georgia's better than just about everybody. I think for those final 4 games of at Texas, home against Ole Miss, home against LSU, or home against LSU, home against Ole Miss, and at FSU, for that 4-game stretch run, that final third of the season, you can gain some confidence by playing well in this game. I believe that's real. Florida is not going to beat Georgia. They're not. But I think you could gain some confidence by playing well in this game. As for the Jags, they go on the road. I know I'm ever hopeful. I didn't pick the Jags to win. I think the Eagles are going to beat them. I picked them. But I still can't believe we were all that wrong about them. That wrong. Maybe wrong. Go win this game. They're gonna beat somebody they're not supposed to. Teams always the NFL. Doug Pederson made a point on my show today. You heard him on our show today, Hays, that he's right. There's 4 games that they're a play from winning, and so I do believe you go get one. You're 3-6. Texans are 6-3. You got 8 games left. You're not 3 back with 4 to play. You're 3 back with 8 to play. It might not happen. It sounds crazy, but go win the dang game and see. Just go see. The upsets happen in the NFL. It's what the league's all about.
And the wild card is so weak. I mean, yes, the Texans could fall apart, and that could open up a path to winning the division. Denver and Baltimore are going to play each other. They're the 5 and the 6 right now, so somebody's losing to go to 5 and 4. The Chargers are 4 and 3, but I mean that's going to be interesting to see if the way they're playing can hold up over 17 games, so they could take a dip.
Right.
So again, if you're able to win and get to 3 and 6, you're at least putting yourself in a position where you can make a surge and at least make it interesting.
Let's say hello to Matt Hays.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
You spent most of your career covering college football all over the country, so the number won't be like mine and Hickens, but how many Florida-Georgia games for you? Do you know?
I would guess 12.
12, okay. Hickens in the 40s now.
I drove over the bridge here, coming here, by the way.
Isn't it phenomenal?
It's awesome.
Hickens in the 40s. I'm at 37.
37.
Well, but I'd be near 50.
Oh, school too. So I'm at like 16, 17. Okay. Yeah.
I'm at 37. My number would be in the 50s until 11 years ago I started on Jags games.
Right.
I've been to 1 since the Jags. But I would probably be around 50. But I went to 31 in a row.
Wow. Yeah, that's got to be a record, some kind, other than Hicken.
I went in 71. I think it was 72. Then I went in 78, 79, 80. 81, my girlfriend didn't go, broke up. And then started going in 82.
Of course you broke up.
Of course you
broke up. Are you kidding me?
I then started going in 82.
By the way, the other story's phenomenal.
It's true story.
It's just such a good story.
And then
Take her.
And started going in 82 and went every year from 82 through 2013 and then started doing Jags games. Can the Gators win the game?
No.
Yeah, they can't, can they?
They can't block them. That's going to be a problem.
That's really there's a lot of other things they can't do, but you kind of hit the thesis statement, didn't you? They can't block.
You cannot put Lagway in 3rd and 9 or 3rd and make a play. You can't do. Right. That's his first time in that game. Remember when Anthony Richardson was like his first time in that game?
Yeah.
My God.
I think this kid's a lot better than him.
I do too, but still.
But it's a tough predicament.
Yeah, against that defense. Like that, the game itself is a big enough moment. But the game itself against that defense, against, oh, by the way, a Georgia offense, that the last time that quarterback was on the field for that Georgia offense in this stadium, he played lights out, Carson Beck, which I'm guessing he's going to do again.
Yeah, and he's due a good game. Carson told you and me when we were in Dallas, he said that was his favorite game he's ever played. Getting to play in his hometown, the favorite game he's ever played. So we
maybe his best game he ever played, actually.
And he played really well. Matt, the show's coming up in a minute. So you can talk about all about that. So, as you see everybody now, is Georgia the best team?
Yeah.
Where's Oregon, Ohio State, whoever else on your ballot? What's the difference? Where do you rank them?
So here's the thing. I don't think Oregon can block Georgia, and I don't think Ohio State can block Georgia. And at the end of the day, we can talk all we want about it being a vertical passing game and it being a sport where you're scoring at both levels, even high school at all levels. If you can't protect your quarterback, you're not winning games.
Yeah.
That's all there's to it. And Will Howard is not good enough as a dual threat guy to escape that kind of pressure, nor is Dylan Gabriel. You can go right down the list. I don't think there's a quarterback. I mean, Avery Johnson at K-State, but K-State isn't close to being the same level of Georgia. So, although I would like to see a K-State Georgia like early round game, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just to see what Avery Johnson would do to them. I don't think anybody beats them. I mean, unless it's Alabama, because for some reason Alabama beats them every single time.
And you're right. You know what? Sometimes it has to be that game where the team is confident. What are we doing tonight? Who's coming up?
We're doing all Florida, Georgia, man.
Are you?
We got Baloo coming on for a little bit. It's going to be a jam-packed 60-minute crazy ride as Timmy Tebow rips us off every show at the beginning. Just give me 30 minutes for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or in this case, 60.
Love it.
We get after it. Me and JJ.
You do a great job. Thanks, Matty. Matt and JJ have the college football show. It really is good. You want to lock in for the next hour. I can promise you that. That'll do it for our program. We're out of here. Enjoy Florida-Georgia weekend safely. Enjoy the Jaguar game. Let's hope we get some wins over this weekend and the FSU North Carolina game as well. We're out of here. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.